Hello again, everybody. Back with the Brother Roo. We have a breakdown from Roo on the review of this Zebec call breakdown. So he's gonna break it down. That's right. About this whole thing. So what do we have? Well, Roo, do you want to get into it?
Yeah, I've been meaning to break down the Zebec call for quite a while. We're going to point out some things that I noticed, and we're going to point out some things from my guy, Blue Collar Crypto. I know he just did a couple of tweets about his perspective on it, but this will be my perspective, guys. So let's get into it here.
If managing your crypto feels like solving a puzzle, it's time to switch to Decent Wallet. Just a few taps, you can manage, track, and secure your crypto with unmatched ease. And here's the best part. Grab your Decent Wallet at a discounted price by using the referral link below. Don't miss out on making your crypto experience smoother and more secure.
Let's start at the 19-minute mark.
Card, which means we've launched nearly 100 branded cards for everyone from top 100 tokens to blue chip memes to AI projects. Right, we're able to serve all of these different types of ecosystems because we support 8 chains. I think almost none, soon to be 9 chains on the Zebec card suite. So without a doubt, we're the most popular.
Stop it. So right there, I kind of broke this down on my last video on what this Ripple circle buying Ripple or Ripple buying circle could mean for Zebec. That's it right there. So soon to be 9 chains. I'm speculating that ninth chain for Zebec may be the Ripple. Okay, the Ripple ledger. So let's go ahead. We're going to get into some more on that later. But here, if we go to the 21-minute mark, we're going to see how Zebec really works with stuff.
Keeping funds in that token. Stellar has had very similar aspirations to Zebec over the years, of course, with the advantage of being founded a few years before us, and they are truly a visionary within the payment space of crypto. So today we're working very closely with the Stellar team. We're part of their developer incubation program. We've received grants from them to build payment systems on their rails, and we're working on further connecting the XLM token into the Zebec payroll suite, as well as the Zebec card suite. And what's the interesting application here? Well, it's actually global remittance. So
they're working for global remittance, but I really loved how he said they're working on connecting the XLM token both on payroll side and also on the card side further with Zebec. So that's huge. That's huge, huge, huge. And if you guys check out my last video again, where it said what Ripple purchasing Circle could mean to Zebec, I go over some of the payment systems that connect to Stellar. All of them connect both USDC and Stellar to all these different payment systems around the world. So if you're now connecting XLM also to Zebec, which already connects to Circle's USDC, it's just even more. It's just more goodness. So let's continue on, and we're going to see that they address the white rock thing in this call as well.
Working quietly behind the scenes on a number of global remittance tools because it makes a lot of sense given our network, our access to payroll, particularly in countries like in the US, which is kind of the source of remittance, and then the use of our cards in more developing economies, which are the recipients of the recipients. So Stellar has been really, really active in these efforts, and we will be actually making some more formalized announcements and releases with them over the next few weeks. I don't want to announce it here. We'll be doing a separate event and spaces with Stellar, but please keep in mind, that this is something that's coming up, and Zebec will be sharing a lot more information on it.
So they say they're going to have a separate spaces with Stellar. and they're going to announce some more things coming up with Stellar soon. Could it be remittance payments? Could it be something else? Who knows? But I'm really, really excited to see that. And now, guys, you've seen that Zebec has gone all the way to 0.0021. Just keep this in mind to know that there are more catalysts to come with this company. There's way more catalysts to come.
Love that. And then White Rock, right? I saw you did something there. Tell us what you did with White Rock.
And so White Rock is an RWA project that we are building a white label card for. We're very close with the team at White Rock. We're excited to be working with them. There was a bit of miscommunication in our announcement with White Rock earlier this week. Our team has clarified that White Rock was not, in fact, backed by World Liberty Financial. That was a miscommunication. And it was really the result of White Rock's marketing team not communicating to us clearly as they approved the releases and co-drafted the releases with us when they went out. So we're glad we could clarify that.
Really, really excited to see that. And now, guys, you've seen that Zebec has gone all the way to 0.0021. Just keep this in mind to know that there are more catalysts to come with this company. There's way more catalysts to come.
Love that. And then White Rock, right? I saw you did something there. Tell us what you did with White Rock.
And so White Rock is an RWA project that we are building a white label card for. We're very close with the team at White Rock. We're excited to be working with them. There was a bit of miscommunication in our announcement with White Rock earlier this week. Our team has clarified that White Rock was not, in fact, backed by World Liberty Financial. That was a miscommunication. And it was really the result of White Rock's marketing team not communicating to us clearly as they approved the releases and co-drafted the releases with us when they went out. So we're glad we could clarify that.
So they clarified there it was a miscommunication, but this confirms one thing, that they're still working with them. But the other thing it confirms, shout out to Blue Collar Crypto. Go to that first link there, Max. There he says, and I always like to give credit where credit is due. Shout out to Blue Collar Crypto. He says, Black Rue and Maximus, I forgot to mention that the silver lining of the White Rock partnership is that it confirms that Zebec can integrate with XRP Ledger. Ripple is not one of the networks listed on Zebec's website yet. Okay, and I said I was gonna go find this tweet. Again, check out the show where I said, what does Ripple's possible purchase of Circle, what does it mean for Zebec? I said I was gonna find this tweet, and this is me doing what I said here. So shout out to Blue Collar Crypto for that. So let's continue on here. You can press play and continue at the same spot.
With the community, we of course have the support now of Zach from World Liberty, who has also made it very clear about the relationship with World Liberty and White Rock.
Got that. Okay, thank you. And then in terms, you just mentioned like different partners and things like that. Any new exchange listings on the horizon for ZBCN? Anything like that coming up?
Well, we definitely have a few in the works. Again, not something I can speak to publicly. Of course, we've received investment from some of the biggest exchanges in the world, and I'm not going to speculate any further on that, but it is a priority for our team.
Yeah, and I obviously I did some research.
So they have received investments from some of the biggest exchanges in the world, that being Coinbase and Gemini. Okay, those are two exchanges that are invested in Zebec. So could we see a Gemini listing? Could we see a Coinbase listing? More catalysts to come. Let's continue on from here.
When you invited me to come up and ask you a bunch of questions, I saw that there was something that happened with Bithumb in Korea. Can you give us any more information about that?
So of course, we have gone through a delisting process recently with Bithumb, which was a surprise to the team. Bithumb never gave us a real rationale for their decision. So we and our legal team have reviewed the Bithumb policies. We continue to believe that we're in full compliance with the exchange policies. That's why we challenged them in court. But of course, Korea is a foreign market to us. And there's been a lot of shakeup over there in their crypto industry, in the regulation of their exchanges. So for now, we are kind of just going to back down and see how things play out, and focus on really growing in other markets over the next couple of weeks.
Press pause.
Yeah.
So now I'm not really concerned about the whole Bithumb delisting thing. I'm just not concerned about it. There's always a little bit of negative news somewhere, but I'm really not concerned about it at all. To the next one.
The other thing, when you were talking a bit about, I always forget, like the diversification of your business and what Zebec looks like. And so there's a whole payroll side as well. What's going on from the payroll business, and how's that side of things going for Zebec?
People forget that, behind this token, behind this company, we have a number of real world businesses, right, that are producing, regular revenue for the company, as well as serving thousands of users across the world. So PGP is the investment arm of Zebec, and PGP is continuing to make acquisitions in the payroll space, which is growing our reach and our market share in US payroll. We have an active partnership with ADP, which of course is the largest payroll company in the US. We're looking at expanding.
So ADP, largest payroll provider in the US. This confirms it. This comes from the COO's mouth. They are partnered with ADP. And also, he's saying PGP, which is his company, is making further acquisitions in payroll. And that was Simon's job for Bain Capital. He was responsible for mergers and acquisitions. So this is what he does, right? So get the depth, like just understand being partnered with the largest payroll provider in the US, like exactly what that means. That makes me so bullish on this project, right? And later on, we're going to find out that they're already getting money from the payroll side. So there's one thing I want to address, which Sam addressed, and shout out to our guy Ghost in the community. Ghost has a Zebec community, in which there's like 1,000 people. Definitely go over to Ghost's page on Twitter and sign up for the Zebec community. So we're going to hear Ghost talking to Sam here. You go to the 30-minute mark. Now, this is something where Zebec, however you want to say it, tomato, holders did not get paid for their portion of node providing that they did for the Nautilus chain. Basically, Sam says those guys are going to be made whole. But I want to make sure that I address that because, negative and positive, we should address everything, right? So let's go ahead and go to 30 minutes there.
We'll be able to receive some reward because we do have some of our team member have also invested in these nodes because we believe it will be a great chain that when we were spinning this out. So TLDR, these nodes existed 2-3 years ago. A lot of community members received quite a bit of reward. There's on-chain data that people can verify this. And some of these users who didn't receive the reward because they didn't participate in on-chain activities are the ones who are unhappy. But since Nautilus was bought by Treebase, we believe once the Treebase token gets launched, all of these people will be made whole, including some of our own team members. So I think that's the node situation.
No, thank you for that. Now, I'm so sorry for speaking.
So next, they're going to address some issues on their future goals, which I'm very excited to hear about.
Out of turn as well. I thought I heard my name there, so really want to.
Oh no, you're good, bro. You're good. All good, man.
Okay, cool. And it's great to hear you talk about things on chain. Just to kind of piggyback off of that, what is maybe the projected growth rate for value on chain in the next, say, 12 to 18 months, if you had to predict?
That's a great question. And as I said earlier, those are metrics that we track very closely as a company. So our card target by the next 12 months is a 3x from our current volume at 30 million. So our goal is to get to 100 million in card volume. And on the payroll side, our goal is to grow that 2x. So that would get us to 1 billion in payroll volume. And the payroll growth would be a mix of organic growth as well as acquisitions, which has helped us get to where we are today.
And just on a side note, right? If we are able to do $100 million in card volume, that would officially make us the largest payments product on chain. In fact, like probably like
Pause.
first,
So this is huge. This is huge in two ways for me. Okay, they already planning out where they want the growth to go.
first in this landscape, and that would be a quite a big of an achievement. And we have achieved $30 million in a very short period of time. So the growth rate on card product has been actually spectacular. And
Will directly impact your ability to open new products, use the services, also reduce your fees to as low as zero, right? If you hold a certain amount of ZBCN. And that's when things are going to get really exciting. Of course, we also have the reward mechanism on the roadmap. So you'll start seeing ZBCN coming in as a reward of cash back for our card products. But for us, ultimately, it's so much more important to have our buybacks higher than any rewards that we're doing. And luckily, with our revenue growth trajectory, we have no issues ensuring that our buybacks are going up month over month. So that way there's more token being removed from the market than being added to the market.
and adding one last thing to Simon's point. So as we get to our $100 million per year card volume target, what it clearly will show to the market is, Zebec card has a tremendous utility, tremendous distribution, and we would open that distribution to the community. It means anyone who has a certain number of Zebec tokens staked, they can propose vote to add certain tokens on our card. So as we had our, we discussed about our white label card product, we want to open that up to our community once we are able to reach a certain number of distribution. So that means community will be able to decide which token will get listed. And we believe at that time it will start to show a utility structure closer to CRV token, where people will start to bribe ZBCN holder and staker so that their token gets voted higher than another token. So we believe that will make community even more stronger, as they will be in the forefront of decision making of what specific products get added, and how our app ecosystem starts to behave.
Oh, so I think that's great. They're saying how they want to incentivize the token, both having the token be a part of product rewards, as well as the buyback program that they have whenever you're using a certain amount of, or whenever Zebec is used, the fees get put into the buyback program, and also incentivizing if you have a certain amount of CBC in state, you can now propose new tokens to add to the card. So Sam said he wanted to kind of model it off of what Curve does, which is pretty interesting there. That deserves a deeper dive into what Curve does with their tokenomics as far as and comparing it how it would work to ZBCN. But you can see here they clearly want to incentivize the token. So next they're going to talk about their signed agreements. You can play from there next.
Yeah, I think the community is definitely going to be pretty excited about that one. Alongside the staking rewards and everything that you guys have going on right now, it's only going to get better as the ecosystem grows, I can imagine. And this is actually my final question. I don't want to steal all the spotlight. I'm sure there's other community members that do have questions as well. And I'm not even sure if you guys are able to answer this right now. But how many NDAs, if you had to estimate, are in place right now with Zebec Network and maybe other companies out there?
So that's a bit of an interesting question because we don't typically track NDAs. I mean, we have NDAs with a number of companies, but that's really something that's very early stage. We sign agreements, with all of our card partners, for example. All of our payroll clients are in annual agreements with us. And that number, if I were to estimate, is well north of 350, right? Even, getting close to 500. So that's really the metric we track. NDAs kind of come and go as we have conversations with potential partners, but it's really the signed annual contracts that matter.
So that's interesting. And I never thought about this because people talk about NDAs a lot. Like people can just sign NDAs okay, I'm gonna meet with you, girl. You gotta sign an NDA. I mean like so NDAs aren't necessarily as important as signed agreements. So I think it's cool that Simon made that distinction. And in that distinction, he's like, okay, well, we have 350, almost 500 signed agreements. So Max has talked about this with like Jasmine. He's even talking about Panasonic before Panasonic was even really announced. Like, this is huge, bro. They're sitting on at least 400 or more signed agreements that they might like whenever they tell us will be great. But again, that just shows us there are way more catalysts coming for this token that we know of. So right here at 0.0021, like this is just the tip of the iceberg. Not financial advice, in my opinion, it is the tip of the iceberg. So there's so much coming for Zebec, and Zebec. I'm so glad to have broken this down for you guys. Max, do you want to add anything here?
No, I think this is one that Rue, took the charge to say the least, and that's fine. There's gonna be times where I do it, and then we both have something to add to it. But NDAs are a real thing, obviously, and I like that example you used. So, uh, you know, great job as usual with the deep dives and breaking it down because sometimes you just need somebody to kind of piece together the highlights from a call like this.
All right, thanks so much, brother. And if you guys made it to the end here, put in NDA, non-disclosure agreement. Put in NDA, and I will know that you guys made it to the end. And for Bro Max, we're out of here, guys. Peace.